and a very warm, happy Memorial Day. That's right, it's Memorial Day. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everybody here. Dan Powell has made it in. Arnie is here. Douglas is here. Easy Kill. Hope everything is well with you as I do it. Jeremy Gibbs has reported in. We had missing persons out for Jeremy, but he has come alive. J.R. Matz, nice to see you, J.R. Of course, the Real Double A, one of the foundations of this podcast, and the great Unholy Toledo. Love to have all my relatives listening in on the podcast and the chat room, okay? So there you are, everybody. Thank you, Unholy, for that information. And it's make sure Dan Powell gets the sound. Dan is a great guy, and I want to make sure that he gets all the sound, okay? So I'm going to write, Dan, you have sound. That's it. We got to teach Dan how to get the sound, okay? So there you go. All right, everybody, on this lovely Memorial Day, let's remember why it's Memorial Day. We sit here, we worry about our fantasy baseball teams and football teams and all about that stuff, and it wasn't for the heroes, our real heroes, not Clayton Kershaw, no, it's not Mike Trout. Our real heroes are the people that have allowed us to play this stupid game, and that's the people that have risked their lives and lost their lives on Memorial Day, and we thank you all. All right, that's why we're here, and away we go with a sincere thank you to all of you who managed to call in on Sunday. Thank you, Doug. Make sure that Dan Powell has sound. That's what I want to know. Dan is new. Always like to make sure the newcomers get sound. Okay, we got a tremendous amount of phone calls on Sunday. Much appreciated. It was a Sunday that everybody was listening. All the management wanted to see. Big Al is here. Good morning. Wanted to see exactly what was going on with the interaction, and believe me, we had it. Okay, thank you, Dan. All right, we had lots of interaction. Got well over 10, 12, 13, 15 calls, and it was great. We couldn't even fill out, we couldn't even go through our outline. We had to juggle as we went, so thank you. Good morning to that guy. Sorry to hear that. Good morning to Zelmo. That guy, we have to order a refrigerator, that guy, before you don't have any more. So Andy will get in touch with you. Okay. Austin Riley has made a big impact. By the way, on our poll we took, who is going to be the National League Fantasy Rookie of the Year, and we did this on Twitter. We had almost 300 votes, and it was Pete Alonso who got it. Paddock was second, Sorotka was third, Austin Riley was fourth, I believe. So it was that kind of, so Alonso got it. But don't forget, Alonso's batting average is going to be around 225 by the end of the year. Austin Riley has been crushing the ball. He's got the highest hard hit rate this season of 69%. Aaron Judge, 66.7. Josh Bell, 58.5. Joey Gallo at 58, and Anthony Rendon at 57. So not only is this guy doing it, but he's doing it in every way, shape, or form. And Austin Riley, by the way, of course, is the real deal, in case you didn't know it, okay? And how many of you were lucky to get Austin Riley in your fair? But how many people drafted Austin Riley and stashed him away? How many stashed him away? I saw Austin Riley in the Arizona Fall League, and I just, you know what? You just knew he was going to be something. I didn't think he'd have any place to play with Josh Donaldson in there. Taylor Clark, his first trip to the big leagues lasted all on one day. And when he was called up the next time, he was with the Diamondbacks on the day he pitched and part of the next day. And then he says, I'm going for 3 days this time. So he's going to stay on the roster. He seems likely to stay on this Diamondback roster with his turn coming up next Thursday afternoon at Coors Field. So be very careful. Here's a newcomer going at Coors Field. You got to be very careful about that, okay? Clark remained on the roster. The team hasn't made it official yet, but that's going to happen. 15 and a third innings in the majors. Clark has allowed just 5 earned runs. He has lasted at least 6 innings in his last 2 starts. But remember, Coors is next, and Clark's strong showing in the majors so far. It's really a contrast to his numbers this year in AAA. He had a 7.2 ERA in 33 innings in AAA. That was in Reno. But okay, he was in Reno. Now he's going to Coors. Stay away from him this week. Don't even get him, especially if you have a league where you have to put him in for a week if you grab him on waivers or your free agent budget. Ketel Marte homered for the third time in 3 games. Eduardo Escobar had 3 hits. The Diamondbacks tied a franchise record. They scored, 3-game series. They tied a franchise record. They got 6 runs. That's what we said on Sunday. They needed 6 runs to tie the record. They got it. They beat the Giants 6-2, and they swept them. And Christian Walker got the start at first base over Kevin Cron because, as Lovello says, Christian Walker is still our first baseman. So for all you guys who went crazy with the free agent budget, remember, good morning to Cha-Cha, remember Christian Walker is still our first baseman, okay? So you want to, he'll get some at-bats. He'll play defense. We know he can play the game. That's what they're saying. Luke Walker straightened his arm, flexed his fingers on his right hand, and bingo, he just felt something in his elbow. That was in the 6th inning on Sunday, and then he walked off the mound with the trainer, and nobody likes to see that. Right forearm tightness, okay? So he's got that. He made it sound as if he was acting with caution. So that's what they all say, acting with caution. Lovello made no assurances that Weaver would even require an MRI. So, and of course, he's in a breakout season with 11 starts and a 3 ERA. He given up just 1 run in 5+ innings before leaving the game. So, not a good sign for, but it's not as bad as we first thought, where he would definitely go on the injured list. Not as bad. Thank you all for being here on this Memorial Day Monday. Historically, only a handful of people show up on the holidays, so I thank you so much for being here. In Atlanta, Mike Sorotka, the first pitcher since the earned run average became an official stat. That was around 1913. Actually, me and Unholy Toledo worked on it. We figured it out for Major League Baseball. 1 earned run or less as a starter in 11 of his first 13 games. How you can't do much better than that. He allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings on Saturday. His ERA went up. Okay, that's how his season has gone. He's allowed 1 earned run or less in each of his first 8 starts. How could Paddock get the nod over Sorotka? I don't get it. 3rd Major League Baseball pitcher since 2020 to start the season like that. And dating back to last year, once again, 1 earned run in 11 out of 13 starts. Only pitcher since 1913, okay? His ERA went from 101 to 107 with his performance against the Cardinals on Saturday, and it's the lowest ERA in a pitcher 21 years old or under in his first 8 starts of the season, okay? Only, Fernando Valenzuela did pretty good, Vida Blue did pretty good, and that's it, so in good company. He walked only 1 Saturday, so you can't let Sorotka go. Look, and the Braves win the ball game Sunday. Coming back at the end of the game, great. Lou Landers is here, so great to see Lou. All right, the Braves, Major League Baseball teams. All right, so are 3 wins and 423 losses. Okay, when trailing by 3 or more runs after 8 innings, according to ESPN. That's this year, okay? When teams trail by 3 or more runs, all right, after 8 innings, 3 and 423, and the Braves win the game. They have 2 of those 3 improbable wins. They also did it April 20th against Cleveland when they overcame a 4-run 9th-inning deficit. So this is the kind of thing that really propels the team for the rest of the year. Really does. Great turnout by everybody. Now, don't forget, we got Arnie coming up at 10, and then we got some great programming Arnie's going to start to do the 10 o'clock show, and that will be followed, and then Lou follows with Suicide Squeeze, and then Lou and Andrea follow with their show. Nothing. So we spend your mornings right here. Everything. Spend your mornings right here, okay? All right? Spend your mornings right here. We're going to have 3 hours of great programming every day. Quintana gave up 5 earned runs on 12 hits. And if there's one thing that we ask everybody once again, if you're going to miss your show, just give me a call. All right? Quintana gave up 5 runs, 6 runs, 5 earned on 12 hits, 1 walk while striking out 2 through 5 1/3 innings. He took the loss against the Reds on Sunday. He was knocked around. Quintana, who's supposed to be a terrific pitcher, look what they gave up for him. Eloy and all that stuff. 13 base runners in his 4th loss of the season. So he had an impressive streak of 8 starts in which he allowed 3 runs or less. He's 4-4 with a 3.7 ERA through 10 starts this year. He'll make his next start against the Cardinals next week. And the hard hit fly ball from Eugenio Suarez looked like trouble from the start. I mean, Jason Haywood's tracking it, and bingo, Chris Bryant ran towards the same spot. Moments later, they collided. Bryant took the brunt of the impact. He says he's going to travel with the team, so it may not be as bad as it looked. So he's under evaluation. Scary. Bryant has been unbelievable. He got an injury to his head and neck area. Wasn't sure if he'd even have to go through a concussion protocol, but he did leave the game. So, and you know what? It's all about maybe his inexperience in playing right field may have contributed to the collision. So the Cardinals move around everybody so much that there are going to be moments where they're really going to pay a price, okay? Bryant's been a great DFS guy lately, so hang in there with Chris Bryant. Stay away from him now. Tanner Roark gave up no runs, 6 hits, 1 walk. He struck out 9 through 5 innings. He got the win over the Cubs here. He was in trouble over and over again, and then he pitched a shutout, recorded his 4th win of the season. He continues to shut down offenses. He hasn't allowed a home run, and he's got a 2.3 ERA in May. He'll make his next start against the Nationals. If you're playing DFS, circle Tanner Roark, check out his price, see what he does. Okay? See if he's worth it. You can squeeze him in. He may not have a dominant start, but you know he's going to have a good one. I predicted, remember, off season, what was I saying? Go to Las Vegas, take the Cincinnati Reds to win the Central Division. Yes, I did. But I did say that the offense was tremendous and the pitching was a little suspect. I did like their pitching a little bit because of the depth that they had. But it's not even their depth. Their pitching has been great. So the Reds really 10-2 over the Cubs before a crowd of over 40,000 at Wrigley Field. The Reds took their 2nd straight series from the first-place Cubs. Okay, the Cubs are 10-0 with 2 ties against everybody else in their last 14 series. The Reds finished their road trip 3-2 against the Milwaukee and the Cubs. They finished the stretch against the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Brewers, and the Cubs 6-5. Those are the teams, all right, with the 1st, 2nd, and 4th best records in the National League when the Cubs played them. They were 0-8 on Sunday, whatever that means, so they win a game. Tanner Roark, like we said, 6 singles. He went a full count on 4 of the strikeouts, 102 pitches. Roark is a big deal here. He's a big deal here. I'm telling you, play him in DFS, okay? He's making his pitches very underrated, Tanner Roark. So Cincinnati starting to make a run. The Reds had 17 hits on Sunday. 8 of the 9 starters had at least 1 hit. They've scored 30 runs, and they have 54 hits over the last four games. And here they come. All we need is Yasiel Puig to start picking it up. The team batting average is .224, and only 10 games ago, the team batting average was .214. They have upped the batting average by 10 points in the last 10 games. Big time. How about that one, J.R. Matz? Good morning. Phil Chaplin has joined us. Good morning to Phil. So unbelievable, right? Jr. Matz from the great state of Cincinnati. So there you go.